Hey everybody, Asher here, and what is going on? It is Free Play Friday on a Thursday. I'm recording on Wednesday. What is this? This is Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions, a mobile gacha game analog to Final Fantasy Tactics. It's a game that when I picked it up upon its release, I wasn't that high on, dropped it for a while, picked it up at the beginning of this year, as I've mentioned on the channel multiple times before. Work has picked up for me pretty hard. You can see I'm doing this on my lunch break. What it boils down to is that sometimes it's good just to open your mind and say, you know what can we look at that's kind of out of the normal avenue, spaces, things like that. But this is a game that's developed quite a bit over the years, so we're going to be looking at some different aspects of the game today. We're going to be trying to get the new unit that's flashing in the top right of the screen. We're going to talk a little bit about mobile gacha predatory stuff, so that's exciting, but we'll get there eventually. But let me just give you a brief recap of what Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions, or War of the Visions, is. It is a game that is a lot about collecting units. So I'll just show you my little unit box here real quick. There's a Final Fantasy 6 event going on right now, so I have Terra, Celes, and Locke. Yeah, we're going to play a game called Asher Mispronounces Final Fantasy character names throughout here. I've always said Celes, that's the way it is. Everybody knows that Final Fantasy V's protagonist is Butts, so we're not going to question there. I do have some other units from some other events before, but the new unit that's out today is Esther, a character that is also in a Final Fantasy BE. She's a lightning unit. You can see my lightning stuff is undeveloped. This is a game that really focuses on trying to get elemental teams together, and not all things are created equal, because I don't sit here and I have a lot of currencies saved up because they do give a lot of freebies in here, which is nice. But once again, you gotta kind of keep your eye open for, like, what are the good deals? What are the good values? So we're just going to go clicky through some stuff while we do this real quick, because we do want to get to, like, the actual summoning here. But I'll just do some housekeeping, because I don't know when I'll be able to log on to this later. I meant to have the music off, so yeah, that's one other issue, is that I have some music running in the background. And the reason for that is that there is Final Fantasy 6 tracks playing, as I've done videos using that music in the past before with Final Fantasy randomizer stuff. I've learned that all of those get thwacked with copyright, false copyright things, but copyright stuff just the same. So we're going to avoid that a little bit. There's just a bunch of stuff to collect, do in this game, and eventually actually play. We'll go into some gameplay as well, but we're going to go into the summon area now just to talk about what's here, what's good, what it is. We're going to be playing some of other music in the background. I am playing this on BlueStacks, so there is going to be some loading connection time a little bit sometimes, but here we go. There's Esther, and there's a lot of different options here. I just want to click through all these things real quick. Here's her little attack animation. It's Easter, it's a bunny thing. Like I said, it's there's a lot of questions in terms of, like, would they go with this unit or another unit? I liked her back in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius anyway, but it's Easter, it's a very popular character, kind of obvious, but you're going to see here as I click to the right, there's a lot of different options for banners to go to. This game's MO strategy, as we even still have our Final Fantasy VI stuff here, is that there are all these options, and it's obfuscation in terms of just giving you so many options that you do not know what to do with them. So that's where it's a good question, a good time to actually ask in the community and say, what the hell do I do with all this? I'll even go to the shops real quick just to show you the same thing here, because there's a lot of good stuff as the shops that we're just going to skip turning those in for reasons that I don't need to discuss today, but I need to do my sell on stuff very well. There's all these shards and stuff you can buy. Like I said, one of the things that's really nice about this gacha game is that, yes, there is power creep. We're not buying any of these packs. There is power creep, but units that you get very early on are still very relevant, and they do a really good job of updating and keeping units relevant. And there's multiple kinds of currencies, all kinds of different stuff. It's just a matter of you gotta tread carefully and just kind of know what to look for, because they try to have you buy all the things, and then there's other exchanges and stuff. For some people, digging through all this stuff is part of the fun, and once you get your head around the system, it's very straightforward. There's just a lot of moving parts to it. But once again, you get to this stuff and it's like, we're just gonna go crazy in the summon here. So I'm just gonna take a quick cut here because I asked one question, and I just want to make sure that I get this right, is that when we go back to the summon here, I'm going to try not to dive off this screen too much, is that what we're trying to do is to get Esther today. There is a pity bar up here that will actually go through, and if you summon enough times, you will get her eventually. There's also these coins that they have that if you get enough of these, you can turn her in for a unit as well. So they took these away for a while. They've come back. It's actually pretty beneficial because it means I won't have to go through this giant chunk of stuff that I've saved, because I'm saving for other units as well. Always be saving is the way you go. But with this game, you have characters developed, kind of like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. There's little cards that you attach to units as well. There's some good deals here. One of the big catches that I want to make sure of is that I believe the tokens that you get on this can be used to get Esther. So I'm going to verify that real quick while we jam out the Tunic here in a second. And I hate cutting this song right here. Tunic, I did finish Tunic, by the way, from playing it before. It's fun. I'm not going to throw my criticism into it right now, but definitely something worth picking up on a sale. So give me just a moment, and then we're going to hit the gacha machine, the gachapon, and see if I can get destroyed. Alright, so good news from asking my guild, Highwind, their guild system in this game. Actually, some very helpful people on there that have a lot of great info because they've been playing this game a lot longer than me. These little medals that you get from here can be used to actually summon for Esther, which is exciting because this takes about 42,000 of this currency, Vision Ore, or Visior, I think they call it in the American version. So what we're actually going to do is a little bit different. This card really helps her, especially when I don't have other lightning cards to add on to her. I'll show you how that all works a little bit later in the video. So we're actually going to go for this first, and then we're going to go not for this. There is a series of summons that you can do that's called a 9-step, and you got to be careful here because these purple circles, or not whatever, these purple buttons, this is free stuff. Gold ones, you have to actually use currency that's paid. I hate how more mobile games have split off currency. Even more like that, but it's the world we live in. So, what I'm going to do, essentially, is to pop over here, try to get this within 5. I have never not gotten one of these cards without having to spend the full 10,000 to go through here. But you can see I have plenty, and I can farm up more before Astoria, or whatever he's called in the American version, which is the next unit I'm going for. And then we can do this 9-step here to get all of these happy little bonus rewards, which are things that I need. And there's a chance to get this unit here, Esther. Now, the thing is that I don't want to click this drop rate button because it made BlueStacks crash on me once already. But she's a cost 100 units, so she is harder to get than maybe some other units. And especially because I'm recording, I expect to have to get the full 2,000 medals to pity for her. Hopefully I'm wrong, but let's go ahead and just hit that gachapon button here. Because isn't that the goal of all of this? We just summon. You can see I have a tiny bit of paid Vision Ore. That's from doing... Oh, you know what? I actually ruined the fun here. I actually forgot to turn on the summon animation, so this is why I'm not a great content creator. But you see, you get some freebies for all this stuff. You get all kinds of other shit thrown at you. Don't worry about these medals. They're mostly irrelevant right now. Although they will matter a little bit. This time we're going to turn on the summon animation, because I was going to say, that's what... We're going to have to wait for this to connect for a second again, unfortunately. That's fun. You could just edit this out. But we don't. So, see, turning on the skip animation, because there's a lot of buttons that you push in this game. But the gachapon, the goal here is, you know, it's fun to spend your hard-earned, hard-farmed resources and go here. Like I said, I do have a little bit of paid. That's because there is a deal you can get that does a sort of incremental giving stuff sometimes, and it's a small amount. But that's something where, once again, if you look at a lot of these gacha games, you got to ask yourself, do you want to actually like spend enough money to just buy another game, or do you want to play this stuff for free? And Brave Exvius is a game that you can play for free. It's just something that expect things to take a little bit longer to get together. But eventually, the nice thing is that the units that you get will pretty much be useful throughout the whole time. Okay, maybe not these lower rarity units. It's you're looking for pretty much rainbow things right here. Like we have a rainbow unit up here. We're just gonna skip through these things here. Rainbow's like the super exciting ultra rare, or UR if you hear me mention that, and it's Kilfei, which I already have, and she explodes and turns into 40 shards and a Mind Sphere. Once again, lots of little tiny things that pop up over here. But I'm trying to actually get a card here, the Dreamiest of Eggs. Cringe all you want, it's fine. This is what I look at for stuff like this before. I used to get really embarrassed about stuff like this, but at this point now it's like, it's my free time. If I just want to just go for a character with a lightning greatsword and bunny ears to go around and kick other people's asses, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, there is a possibility, they did bring this in from the original Brave Exvius game, that some of these may actually change into rainbow cards. I would normally hit the skip button here, because I don't expect any of them to. And on the 5th one that we get here, that will be a rainbow vision card, which you can see they have different stuff here, and eventually that will be something. So like I said, normally I'd skip here, but this is just for the sake of me explaining everything. So we are on step 4 already. You're going to see this number drop quite a bit, but it's fine. We're just going to have to click through everything. That's one of the downers of the Brave Exvius series, is always having to click through everything here. The story goes that if you get a brown book, that means you're literally getting shit in a gacha. But it changed into a rainbow, so the brown book, it doesn't always lie. Change into a rainbow unit, so who knows what that means. The other thing here is that we have, some of these cards actually have espers attached to them as well. If you're familiar with technically the Saga series or Final Fantasy, then you know what an esper is. It's those happy little summoning units that you can go around. There's just a whole bunch of systems stacked on top of systems, stacked on top of systems, to make a giant turducken of, oh my god, this is a mobile game. And it's Elsorel, who I also already have. Because that's one of the other things, is that the unit pool is not gigantic in this game. If you go for something, eventually you are going to catch other units, even if you don't develop them. So that's what I'm saying, is that if you spend money, it's to try to make the game go faster. But this game does have a pretty good throttle of it. Takes some time to build the book, or build the units. We have to get a gold book here, because this one is going to be the card we're looking for. Another 10,000 down the drain, but we did get some medals for it. It is possible that one of these other ones changes into it. I almost want to hit the skip button, but I'm not gonna. Alright. So we're just gonna summon, jam out to some Shovel Knight, because this isn't gonna get flagged for copyright. Or maybe it will, I don't know. I'm not making any money off of this anyway. So it's just annoying to have like other audio change and stuff like that. But there's the card we were going for. It goes with Lightning Girl, and you can see we get 10 more coins. We get all this other shit, which is completely irrelevant right now. Oh, predatory gotcha game number 1. Review our game. No, close. All right. And then we can click here, look at the card. It has all kinds of stats attached to it. The art in this game is just really, really high quality. But we have all this stuff here. You have to level this up from the get-go. But the nice thing is that the game gives you some boosts to do that. But before we get there, I do want to check and make sure that I didn't just screw myself and go to the what's called the Mog Shop, which has all the metal exchanges and stuff, because I don't want to lose track. Especially when I'm recording, I don't want to lose track. So let's visit our little Moogle friend up here and see. We have no medals. I always freak out myself with this. I have no medals. I was supposed to get all the medals. You can get 200 to get this select ticket that lets you pick any of these units, and this is the one that we want. I actually have none of these units on this account. So yeah, that's but I'm going for the one. But if we go down to the present box over here, this is where all of our medals are, so very exciting. So we're gonna do one more check here. Oh, and we actually got the producers' gifts as well from the live stream, where they said, oh, by the way, you're getting Esther, which most of you probably guessed that we were getting anyway. Alright, so is this gonna refresh? There we go. We have 50 medals. We need to do up to 15 more summons and we can get Esther. It's nice in a game like this where you don't just have to rely on random chance. Like Genshin Impact has a soft pity system, but gives you a 1% chance to get the units around about. But if you do like up to 70 summons, the game will start to be like, you have a 99% chance of getting this. I've gone up to 80 like one time in that game. But the next thing we're going to do here is a 9-step. And all of these give 10 medals. I think even the free step, so that's a nice thing. And these give other resources for things that you need, because this is a game that has resources beyond resources beyond resources. Once again, the strategy for Gumi here is to overwhelm you with information. So this is 60 coins, brown book. There is a chance that we get Esther on this. We're looking for units now. We have her vision card. Her vision card I don't think can appear on this. This can turn into another thing, and we're just gonna butcher that skip button here. And you see, this is the power of the skip, is that we get This, which is very important because you need that to boost character levels beyond 99. Rip Ramza. I don't even have Orlando or Orlando, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, there's more coins, there's more of these. We're just gonna hit the summon button again. And like I said, this is the nice thing about this game is that they do give you a lot of free currency. Yes, you can get it through progressing in the story, which the story starts off absolutely awful. Eventually somebody figured out what the hell they wanted to do with this game, and it's in a much better place now. We are going to click through this because we have 3 golds here, but all of these have as much of a chance as any other to change into a rainbow. Technically, it's already predetermined. The summon and everything has already happened. Like this one changed to a rainbow. What is it? It's Frederica. All right. Good lightning unit, one that I could actually run with Esther. Is it? I'm very curious about how people pronounce it because I have this great habit. If you've watched this channel for any length of time, you know that I love to have my own pronunciations for things, and it's not a joke. It's actually just my brain does things differently than other people. And there's another rainbow. Is it the thing? Nope. Gracefully, elegantly, this dance will be your last. So you get a little walkout animation for different characters. This is a good character that I don't have, Miranda, so we get the little walkout animation for her. Water unit. Celas is a water unit, and that is an element that I am trying to develop, but not what I'm looking for. But still, we get the new unit here. We have 50, and then we need to keep a good count here. So the next one's free. I believe we get the coins on the free ones, too. But this is what I'm saying, is that if the units are in the permanent pool like this, as opposed to Esther, which is a limited pool unit, you will get them eventually if you summon for other stuff. So there's a lot of just sort of thoughts, theory between different people of how you want to do this. My thought at the end of the day is, if it's a unit I like, I'm going to go for it, and I'll figure out how to build a team around it. This smells like a skip. Let's hit the skip button. Skip verified. That's fine. And we have 10 more of these, so that's what we lost count. We're on step 4. So I guess by the end of this, technically, we went from 50, and then we have 9. So that's, don't do math while recording, 140. So we'll need to do 6 more summons. So here's a gold, and we don't know if it's going to change. Journey to Silius is also a really good Sunsoft game with an exceptional soundtrack. I'm not going to sit through that. And we should get the walkout animation regardless here. And we do get other awards here, like this one is Element Fragments of Thought. These are things that you need to evolve your units because this is one of those games. Also, if you have played Brave Exvius before, here's Fina from the other mobile game. She's actually a really good unit. I have not built her though, but she's still good. So another summon. And we got the Consume Visior Mission 14. Like I said, this is an old account that I had around launch. I could have re-rolled, I chose not to. The game was in a much worse state at launch in terms of there was no pity system. You just had to go for things. If you were trying to go for a unit, you could get a vision card instead of a unit, and there was no controlling it, which was ultimately one of the frustration reasons that I quit, is that I was trying to go for units, and I kept getting vision cards. And I have some really good vision cards as a result, and now that I'm playing longer, I realize the power and value of it. But I mean, a lot like Brave Exvius, so part of the appeal of this game is collecting units and actually just trying to chase what you're looking for. So we're just going to go with that. There is a Blossom of Paradise, very important. I have a lot of them. They're also needed for evolving units. Let's do another. Apologies for that, trying to be as polite as possible. Alright, and see, this is a vision card. Is it going to stay gold? It's probably going to stay gold. This is the thing, is that the vision card and units here, you can still get these in all of this. Now, this one's blue. It's probably going to change to gold. We'll click through this just to see. Like I said, some people... this is what YouTube content is like for a lot of things. Like, some people are like, oh my god, I love watching other people summon. I love watching their joys or misery, as we get some... one of the way too overhypest tracks in the NES I've ever heard. This is from the NES Silver Surfer game. Not hype enough for just gold here, but it's fine. So how far are we in the 9 step? We're on step 7. And there's all kinds of superstitions that people have about what you should or shouldn't be doing here. I'm not big on superstitions. I used to be. But now I'm just like, okay, it's an algorithm. I'm going to get screwed or I'm not going to get screwed. It's a gold book, which means there is a rainbow in here. This is a chance to be Esther. Technically, the other limited banner units or the other limited festival units are also on here. Dwayne, Starlight, Elena, Ibarra, Fryevia, and the other one that I don't remember right now. Zanzan, I think. So we'll just go through this here real quick and see if this is something that I don't have. Because that would kind of be nice. Okay. Well, can you keep up? I think that's her. There we go. That's Esther. So we got her on the 9th step. That's exceptional. Exceptional. Oh, there's a joke. Oh, I'm officially a father. And I've been for about a decade plus now. But there we go. We have these extra tokens. I'll show you what we're able to do with these as well. See, if I'd followed through Superstition and tried to pull some crap like opening books, closing books, things like that. Going back to the summon home screen. Oh, yes! Here we go. Time for some predatory gotcha bullshit. I do not like this. This has started coming up since the 2nd anniversary where they're like, hey, by the way, spend money right here on this. I know that mobile games have like massive click-through rate where people will just throw money here, but we're going to close this and never buy it. Yes, I will never buy that, so bye-bye. Because you can build units, there's a lot of different ways you can build units. My plan with her is to do a slow burn. We're going to be just working to get her kick-started a little bit with some stuff that I'll show you in just a second. And let's go back to the main screen here, because it may be worth my time to do 2 more summons on this banner. I have actually a lot more Visior left than I expected, so that's a big plus. I blame Silver Surfer for that. Yeah, actually, I'm in really good shape right here. Let's see, we can get 2 more Blossoms of Paradise, 3 more Blossoms of Paradise. I was hoping Step 9 was free. It's not. So I'm going to skip those because 2 things here. There are some gacha games where they're like, go get dupes, get as many dupes as you want to, and unfortunately this game does go faster if you try to get more units, but on these banners you should never chase for a duplicate unit here. So since I don't need 5 Blossoms of Paradise here, I'm just going to skip. So let's go to the victory screen, as it were, as we get Haiku from Starbound now. Excellent. I mean, I shouldn't sound so surprised. I know this playlist before I made it here, but here's Esther. You can actually change the 3D model and look around as well. Okay, not with that button. Okay, so I guess we gotta zoom in like this, and there's all different kinds of animations and everything. But yeah, just once again, the 3D modeling. I mean, it's a mobile game, so you can't always do a lot, but just the 2D art is just awesome here. So there's all kinds of different things you need to do to build up a unit. You have this stuff, which you have 3 different jobs. She can do Paladin, she can do Thief, and she can run one of those alongside her main one, which is Precursor, whatever that means. She also needs to be awoken 2 different ways here to unlock some of these stuff. I don't know what the value is for doing both limit breaking and awakening other than making you consume resources. Here's the fun part of the game, though. I don't think I can zoom out here, but they do all have a skill board like this, and because she isn't what's called an EX unit, she has an extra skill board up here with even more stuff. This is what I'm saying, is that it's going to take some time to get some of this stuff leveled up, but if you want to see what the board looks like, here we go. From what I've read from some initial thoughts is that she's a very strong unit, as she should be, as she is cost 100 here. Just for comparison's sake real quick, I do have a few cost 100 units built. Because there are some parts of the game that are actually cost limited. You can see a lot of them are fire units. These are the ones that I do have built. My earth and light units are not. Thancred doesn't really count as a cost 100 units. Rip anyone who's a Final Fantasy XIV fan. But yeah, like if we look at Setia here, who's a very fun archer unit that a lot of people shit on for not being strong enough. That's the great part about gacha communities, is that people will shit on units if they are not as strong as the strongest thing out there and say it's a waste of time. I'm just here to have a good time. So like I said, it is possible to build this stuff up. It just takes some time and some resources, but the game does give you some ways to get a leg up a little bit here. For instance, there are what's called bingo boards, very appropriately here. They give you, if you do different things here, which is literally just leveling up a unit, limit breaking a unit, leveling up, you can get little shards here that are needed to actually level her up further. So it gives you a start, and then you want to clear this as soon as you can, because her signature weapon, Asterisk Alpha, love the name of that. You want to give these units limited weapons. Ibarra also has one. She has Records of the Demoness, because she's a very, very powerful, also lightning unit. And then Starlight Elena has her signature Astrea Aurora. These are also both Final Fantasy Brave Exvius characters. And then, I don't know, I thought there's a bingo board for the vision card that I got as well. So all of those things should work well together. Let me actually, there's something I forgot to mention with the vision card here too. And unfortunately, because I'm doing this on BlueStacks, we're just going to do this this way. Because all of my sort of sorting and order stuff is a little bit different. One of the reasons that I really want to get this card is that there's all different kinds of conditions. These give abilities to parties. I'll show you what that means in a second. Limited bestowed effects, lightning. So if your unit is lightning element, you'll also get +10 attack. But then max hit points up and critical rate up. That's just for her. And then as you level up the card, you unlock more things. So that's kind of just the deal here, is that when I say slow burn, I have the unit now. That's really good. I'm not going to be able to field a team with her today. So let's take a look at like some teams that I can actually use here. And I don't have time, unfortunately, to like go through manual battle and like fighting everything here. Like for instance, this is one of my sort of here's strong units. I know it says FF6 up here. That's because I'm a little confused. There's 2 cards that you can put in here. That's it. That's a new thing. Terra has some funky headphones on because that's exciting. But all these cards give little party abilities and everything. And those are buffs that stack up. So that's pretty exciting. We also have just like locks over here. I'm still building up lock as well. There's also different PvP elements. This is one of my sort of stupid PvP teams. I have fun with it, but it's not most optimal because people really try to run like 3 of the same element, but I find Cella's to be incredibly powerful. If you've played FF6 and you know her runic ability that you can use to eat magic spells, it works, and it works really well in this game as well. Sort of 1v1 dueling as well, kind of the same thing. You know what, I kind of want to do this. Let's go ahead and copy this formation for a second. And we're going to do some duels here. Like I said, we're just going to do some auto battle PvP here, but we're going to use this team because I think this is a fun team. This is the other team that I usually run. Sedia, Terra, and King Mont, who is the protagonist, but part 2 of the story of protagonist. I also have some other teams, and I have this experiment didn't work. All right, so we're gonna do that first. I mean, I guess we'll cut it 2 ways here real quick because I'm just flying through menus now. Like there's different events here. I'll show you what this one looks like. I did just finish farming for it, but once again, they want to beat you down with options. There's so many different things that you can do. They're just like, oh look, there's always something to farm, and in this game there is always something to farm. Now I have finished getting the special item from this, which really means I shouldn't be having Terra wearing headphones anymore, but whatever. I actually can't do this boss battle right now because I don't have the tickets for it. RIP. Let's go get some tickets real quick. So all you can do here, you have lots of different options here, but one of the nice things this game gives you is skip tickets. So all we're going to do here is just skippity skip. Like I said, I've already gotten everything from here, but there's no harm other than burning some energy to do this here. We want to get 30. That's not 30. And we get points here. My rank is low because of, oh, we actually got 42. We got Life, the Universe, and tickets. Okay, so that's all well and good. And if we just decide to go to the boss battle here, okay, like I said, my ranking is nothing to write home about. But here's this guy, our magic happy clown Kefka. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Just give him some statues to rearrange. Like I said, for a lot of these gacha games, and this one's not very different, you just kind of have like, okay, here's a fight that we're going to have, and we fight Kefka, and you farm the shit out of this. So I am going to do some different battle setting things, just so you can see stuff. I do have the voices turned off as well. We are going to do the ×2 speed, because not having the speed boost is a little painful. But we are going to turn on ability effects, just so you can see all the lights and sparkles, because that's very exciting. And Terra, it's bothering me that you're not wearing your ribbon, so let's put on Terra's ribbon, which gives Maneater upon magic attack up, which means she does more damage to human units when she uses magic, and she's always using magic. So this is what the game looks like. Like I said, it's very Final Fantasy Tactics, because it literally is supposed to be Final Fantasy Tactics. And we'll get a change over here to... I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of this song from Xenoblade Chronicles X. It is the Mira theme. Let's see. Oh, we're supposed to not have voices on, but we still get the death screams here. So there's Locke doing his thing, slashing. Here's Terra, who is actually going to use Meltdown on one tiny unit. There's like Kefka and a bunch of his flunkies. If you've played FF6, you know that this is kind of trying to look like the whole Narsh invasion. And don't tell me it's pronounced Narshi, which is another thing I was told. Locky, Narshi. I grew up in the southern United States, so I don't know. Yeah, Terra's gonna give Kefka a hug. Actually, one nice sort of Easter egg. I will turn off the auto attack for a second here. If we just do a free roll here, there is speculation that Kefka will be a unit in the future. They have only released like one villain unit so far, which is Golbez. Technically, if you've played the After Years, you know that's kind of questionable whether he's a villain anymore or not, but people are like, oh, fire unit, Kefka, potentially all this stuff. It's entirely possible. They do have the key art for it. I just thought that was neat. But anyway, we're back to kicking his ass. So Crescent Riot Blade, everybody has their own little animations. Good timing, Terra, and a bunch of damage. Saving it right for the crescendo. Now what you're missing out on is that because I don't have the voices active, we are missing out on everybody shouting their little catchphrases. The kids have the same, my kids have the same thought on this game as especially Genshin Impact, which is like, wow, these people talk way too much. And here's a summon. I didn't even think Locke would ever summon here, but I mean, it's Shiva, she's an ice summon, which is always weird to me because Japan's not exactly that far from India, and Shiva not exactly like an ice princess like maybe you'd think, or maybe there's something in the Hindi religion I don't know. Feel free to tell me in the comments, it's fine. I just figured it sounded like a play on words, kind of like they did the whole protagonist element synergy here between Butts first, then Terra, Butts obviously the gas element, Terra, Cloud, Squall for I guess storms, and whatever Zidane is, Titus, and then FF11 is the one we don't talk about. Oh wow, she actually put Kefka to sleep, and Mont just woke him up. So like I said, this is the kind of, one of the things about this game is that there's a lot of auto farming, and this is one of the things that I was kind of disappointed in how much autoplay it was earlier, but what a difference 2 years makes. From when this game came out, because now I'm like, you know what, there was a time where on Twitch there's this whole Final Fantasy Tactics auto battler thing that you can like do fake points and make fake bets on what's going to happen and stuff, and that was something of those for a while. It's like, I will just watch this in the background while I'm working on shit, or while I'm having a video conference of some shit. And now it's like, oh, I have the mobile version of a fun little auto battle, and kind of that change of perspective of the game helped me out a little bit. But you can see Kefka got his clock cleaned, and he says thank you, because nobody's ever kind enough to clean his clock. We got a few points here. There are people that can really double the score here. It's cool. But yeah, we're getting extra resources to spend on other things. But then the sort of crux town point for this, and I didn't realize I actually went through all the music, so that is too bad. Let me see if I can find something real quick, since if you've stuck with me for this long in the video, you're gonna be fine. Okay, that's all dangerous. Let's go over here, because we're just gonna go and do some PvP real quick. Just over to the dual screen. This is okay. I'm just going to scroll down. There's some stuff that I know is okay. It's just one of the issues is that for whatever reason, we are constantly watching YouTube just potentially crush everything possible. Okay, we're just gonna do this, and this is fine. That's not fine. This is fine. Let's start here. Okay. Here we go. PvP! And you see I have points here. Now, this is not the party I normally take here, and I think Terra's not wearing her... oh, she is wearing a ribbon. So this is fine. My team stats are not super strong, and we actually have Ice Unit magic up which is for a unit that just came out recently. You can see all these other opponents that I have. Now, I do have a mostly fire team, so I don't just want to walk it into a water team. Even if my stats are fairly similar to them, I almost have 4,000 total stats. That's kind of loud. I hope it's not loud for you all, then. But yeah, we have lots of different options. Okay, we have an actual full-blown lightning team that I could throw Sellas into. Let's do it anyway, just for fun. Because usually with my fire team, I will hunt down lightning teams. And with Esther coming out, there's going to be a lot more lightning teams out here. But what I like to do with this team is more Sellas is a magic-based tank, so I'm not playing to her strengths at all right now. But we just want a PvP, and honestly, I don't have the time to sit all day and look for the perfect unit. So we have Cloud, who's a physical slashing unit, and there's Sellas using her runic ability for the next 3 turns. Any spells cast towards any of my team will be absorbed by her, and we're hoping that that guy casts some spells. He has a tendency to kind of stay back. Sellas giving some slash resistance. There's a physical barrier. There's Charlotte, who's another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius character. Barrage. Oh man, Cloud with a bow. That's kind of cheating. But here's your Limit Burst again. Turns out Super Meat Boy. Pretty good soundtrack here. Sellas running away. That's not really what I want you to do. This team's tested for the current guild battle map, not the arena map here, and we have some stupid healing here. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this one, and it's gonna be fun. I mean, it's possible that Glaciella is going to come back here, but unfortunately, Sella's not doing tanking, and forgetting to actually stay in the front is a little bit of a problem. So Grand Explosion, not going to do enough. Sellas is a magic tank here. That's a very chonky, tanky, one of the probably best built, most self-healing lightning mage warrior, the crystals people have ever seen. Sellas took way too long to get over here, so now she will not have a runic ability. And we actually got a 2-for-1 with Classy Glassy and Magic Deflection. We evaded magic somehow. Oh, actually evaded his Limit Burst. Oh, this is... Runic was supposed to save me. Runic won't save you from Limit Burst. Sella's actually surviving because I have Ochu equipped to her. And Ochu has... Oh, Sellas, you're supposed to eat that crystal. Ochu has lightning resistance attached to it, so I really need you to not kill me right now. Law of Disarmament. I can't believe I won that. Alright. Okay, that's not music from the game. This is some crap that a Final Fantasy player, or Final Fantasy randomizer player I've known for a while, Edgeworth. They have very interesting taste in music and usually brings out a lot of stuff that I have not heard before, and apparently I wanted to add this one to a list, so it's cool. We're gonna do one more battle, well, maybe 2 more battles, just for funsies here. We're not gonna run ourselves to water. You see how many Sellases are out here doing water unit things? You know what, if we fight Field here, this is an ice team, this is supposed to get bonuses here. I think we'll fight Field, but we'll, instead of fighting with Sellas, which didn't work too on this map, we will fight with my main fire team, which I do get bonuses here for having Omen and Terra in here. That means you do get more points. You only need to have one of them equipped. This is an ice support unit, which is why that bonus is there. So, all very exciting. Let's fight Field and see if Fire, which is supposed to have an element advantage over Ice, actually does its thing. This is the kind of fighting you're looking for, which is why people saying that Esther is going to completely nullify Water. It's very simple. If you're running a Water team, don't run it into a Lightning team. That's a kind of golden rule here. So, here we go. One more fight to rule them all, and then unfortunately I gotta get back to work, because, yeah, that's, for those of you that do not know, I am a defense attorney, and court, sometimes, you know, you want to work around your schedule. Like, I was out of town recently, and I still got calls while I was up in the mountains with very low reception. I'd, like, get to a little pocket where I had reception for 3 seconds, and I'd like, you have 5 new voicemails and 7 new text messages. Like, I contacted everybody to say I was going out of town. Okay, so there's Rosa from Final Fantasy IV, by the way. Forgot to call that out. There's Gilgamesh, who we'll call the cover boy for this game, because he is. There's Setia doing her crappy damage, because everyone hates... Okay, the knock on Setia is a pretty valid one, which is that she doesn't have a guaranteed hit move, so high evasion teams do hurt her pretty bad. There's Medina, I think is how you pronounce her name. There's Rosa. Oh, 2 moons. I get it, because it's Final Fantasy IV. And that's just a heal for Gilgamesh, which is very exciting. Maiming Slash, to its name, kills a 2-for-1, because my stats are not high, but my bonuses for these units are very high. And Setia clocking in at over 10,000 damage. Good stuff. And even though I have King Mon as my lead here, Celas is still over here. But yeah, that's, like I said, I only have time to do so much more. So recap, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions, or just War of the Visions for short. I like it. It's a good game. There's a lot of good bonuses you can get for new players. If you start right now, you actually get Locke for free, and Locke is one of the most powerful units in the game, despite being only 90 cost here, because he has incredibly good evasion. He has an extra bit of gear which gives even more evasion. His abilities, which I haven't fully unlocked yet, actually comes with, if you're familiar with the storyline of FF6, spoilers, by the way, he's very obsessed with the Phoenix and reviving and bringing people back to life. So he does get a revive for himself later, and also can take away other people's ability to act with a dagger. And his weapon, his signature weapon, actually, I can't pull it up from here, can I? Okay, we don't want to do it like that. His signature weapon over here actually penetrates defense as well. And those are all things you can farm if you start today. The event only goes for a little bit longer, but there's a lot of freebies you get in the game. So it's one of those things where if you are willing to play a game that you do not mind slow building units and really taking your time, you can pick a few units to kind of start out with and then work your way up. This is a good game for that. If you want a game with instant gratification and you're willing to pour in as much money as possible to pay for everybody else, I mean, more power to you, but there's the same predatory crap for gacha games here as there is everyone else. You just have to tread carefully. There has not been a Final Fantasy Tactics rerun here, so if you're coming here for Final Fantasy Tactics units, you can get on the Cry train. There's plenty of room available because everybody's waiting. I think it's like the emergency break glass, sort of like Blizzard was worried, so they did a whole Illidan-based expansion for Burning Legion. But that's ancient history. Oh my god, how long ago did Legion come out? I'm showing my age here. But anyway, like I said, lots of units. So many units! So many things to collect. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. This is Asher with Free Play Friday on a Thursday, recorded on a Wednesday. Have to video edit this because of actual crashes from BlueStacks. But yeah, if you got any questions, by all means, if you happen to be watching this and you're in Highwind, which is the guild that I'm in, we have an associated guild, Leviathan, and then we have another one, Valhalla, which is where sort of newer or alternate account players can go. It's all very good. Oh, this is something I actually meant to show here. If you want to slow build a unit, one way you do it is actually set them in here, park them in here. Like we can park Esther in here right now, and you can actually get shards over time. 2 per day, and then there's some more that you can get as well. So eventually you will be able to build up units. The reason that I have all 3 Final Fantasy 6 units here is because I'm still trying to feed these 2 unit shards, which they just have FF6 shards, into Locke to build him up. But yeah, there's lots of ways to slow build and make your account happy. But that's going to do it for this one. This is Asher with FFBE WOTV. Never make me say that out loud again. Like I said, we're going to be getting back to Star Sector. I've got some other fun stuff planned. I do want to just go ahead and say that one of the things I'm looking to do here in the channel, sort of in the middle of the year here, is to revisit some of the early access games that I played earlier, especially Darkest Dungeon, especially Dyson Sphere Program. But the first one I'm going to be trying to knock out, hopefully I can do it streaming instead of just doing YouTube videos here, is War Tales, which is one of the most popular free play Fridays that I did last year, and it's still an amazing game. It's just like Battle Brothers and RimWorld, intimidating as hell. So that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. Just listen to the Matt Purdy sound out here from FTL Faster Than Light, the first game I did on this channel. So yeah, thank you all for sticking around. If you stuck around, if you skipped towards the end, hello. I don't know why you did that, but okay. Y'all have a good one. Zone Seek's running away from the Falcon now. That's a good time to end as any. I appreciate y'all being here. See you next time.